everybody, Tim Norris here, or you can call me GreyElephant.
And Carmen Norris.
And welcome to episode 4, Neon Lights, wing, 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 wing. This is games we're most excited about come Gen Con.
Gen Con!
Fireworks, fireworks. What was he doing?
Jazz hands.
Oh!
Superstar.
They go with my happy feet. Jazz hands and happy feet. Can't keep me in my seat. Alright, so last episode was games that we hate. And wow, got a lot of feedback on games we hate. Yeah.
There's a lot of hate out there in the gaming community.
Good. We were slowly bringing everybody to the dark side.
Yes.
We are very passionate gamers, aren't we? And when people screw with us with games, we remember, don't we? We remember those games.
It wasted my money. It wasted my time.
Oh,
I could have played something else that night.
That's the thing I think that
That's
really
what I always think, dang, I could have played something else.
There's so many games. It's those moments when you're sitting there and you're looking at the game shelf and you're like, look at all those. I would play any of those other than this. But here I am playing this.
This one won't end.
I wonder if I could crawl under the table and die. So, lots of feedback. So, this week is Gen Con we're excited about, but we got to go back all the way to episode 1 because, once again, we got a couple of
still getting
Johnny-come-latelys. We sure do. We've got 2 of them here, and if you don't mind, I'll just read them both off.
Okay.
We got Kurt Vaughn, and I want to say Hoeveld.
And these are his first loves.
First loves. Oh, it's so sweet. Magic the Gathering, Battlestar Galactica, King of Tokyo, Flashpoint, Carcassonne, Pandemic, and Friday. Thank God it's Friday! Now, I've always wanted to play that game. I think it looks really cool, but it's a solo game. And it's basically like Robinson Crusoe Adventure Friday. I don't know. It looks cool to me, a card game. Then Stacy Winters. Now, we had a little debate. Stacy Winters and Carmen immediately implied
I said she.
And I was like, we can't do that.
We don't know that.
We can't say that because Stacy can't be a
Stacy has quite a list.
But this is First Loves, and boy, I mean, I really like some of this on here. Mage Wars, oh, love it. Duel of the Ages 2, Agricola and Caverna, love the Agricola, not so much Caverna. Smash Up, Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition, Mage Knight the board game, StarCraft the board game, Lewis and Clark, Star Wars LCG, Firefly. That is an awesome, awesome list. Love it.
And Stacy started big, sounds like. So, yeah.
Go big or go home. Now, episode 2 were games that we fell out of love with. This is before the hate really welled up. We just fell out of love with you.
Yeah.
And we had the same 2 people comment on that.
Yes. Kurt says King of Tokyo. He fell out of love with
It was a first love and then he fell out of love?
Yeah.
How can you fall out of love with King of Tokyo?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Stacy says Talisman Any Edition. Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, Munchkin, Castles of Burgundy, I know, Horus Heresy, Sentinels of the Multiverse, Runebound 2nd Edition, and Upon a Fable.
Now, am I the only one who sees Horus Heresy and I think of a Hershey bar and I want some chocolate?
Yes.
Am I the only one, or is that you think it too?
I know, I think you're looking at it and seeing it with dyslexic eyes, and you see Hershey and you're like, chocolate.
You didn't have to make the crazy symbol when you were replying to me.
I don't know.
Okay, so one thing before we get into listing off our games we're most excited about, we've got a lot of hate here. Good gosh, there's a lot of hate. Now, I'll just name off a few of them here, but here we go, guys. You ready? Get ready for the hate. Here it comes. So Kurt, once again, says Palaces of Carrara and Kylus Magna Carta, Risk, and Monopoly. Now, we owned Palaces of Carrara for a while, but I had the, I believe, German edition, and I traded it off because we never played it. I really wanted to try that one, though. I thought it sounded good. Stacy Winters says Dungeon Quest. Any game that can kill you on the first turn of the game in consecutive games. First turn of the game in consecutive games is a 1 rating, in my opinion.
We agree.
Can't stand this game. Totally agree, Stacy, 100%. That game, so much work to set up, so fiddly, so clunky.
We had that game and we got rid of it.
Everybody kept saying, oh, but that's the joy of it, is you can die on your first turn. And I'm like, that's not joy. It's the opposite of joy. Then she also has Betrayal in the House of the Hill.
Or he.
And, or
you did it this time.
Did I really?
Yes, you said she.
And Munchkin. Munchkin. Definitely there with you on Munchkin. Noragama says Civilization the board game. Kubayui Kid. said, Traders of Carthage, if you hear a humming noise, it's because it gets hot in this room with all these lights. So I got 2 fans. We got our ceiling fan, and I put an extra fan on us because otherwise we get hot in here.
I don't think it's just the lights.
Getting hot in here. Take a fire gloves. You know I did that on purpose.
Every time.
Come on, everybody else was doing it too. That's the only line of that song I know. Is that one line? I don't think I've ever even heard the whole song.
It's the only line I know because I've heard it from you. That's the only place I've heard it from.
I think I must have heard this someplace. I've never heard the whole song. Never have. I just know that one line, and it has stuck with me ever since I've heard it. It's getting hot in here.
No, when you and your friends you hung around with, you probably got it from somebody else. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know what you're implying about my friends, but I will just get back to the list. Thank you very much.
They want to see you without your clothes.
But he also mentioned Quarriors, and totally down with you on Quarriors, man. Fernando Munoz says, Power Grid. I love your name, Fernando Munoz. Power Grid. I do speak good Spanish at times, don't I? And it just rolls off the tongue. Fernando. I love it. Power Grid. So, anyways, you are with Josh.
Josh Murdoch. Glory to Rome and Le Havre.
Is that Le Havre or Le Havre?
Or Le Havre. I don't know.
Le Havre.
Because I don't know French like you know Spanish, unfortunately.
But you came from France, right?
My grandma came from France. She taught me.
Was she a conehead?
5 sentences. She wasn't, but I apparently am. Yeah, long story.
Oh.
But yeah, she taught me like 5 sentences. She wrote them like they're pronounced in English. So I never learned how to read French. I just knew how to say certain things. So that was all.
Ooh, Francais.
Okay, so anyway. Next is Brock Ormond. I did not care for Battlefield games with tons of miniatures.
Hey, I left a little note there on that. You want to
Yes.
read off that name?
Brooke Armband says
I did that
he does
for
not
you.
care for Battlefield games with tons of
I did that for you. So Brock says that he Brock Ormond, because I called him Brock Osmond, I think
Did you?
Yeah, I think because I switched the R for an S. So I called him Brock Osmond last video.
And he was like, at least you didn't call me.
At least you didn't call me Brooke Armband, because somebody else called him Brooke Armband, and I love that. I mean, it's like, Brooke Armband. I didn't call you Brooke Armband, but now it's in my head.
Okay. So next we have Pelcaris. And this is a list of things that make a hateful game. Number 1. Is it a dice version of another game or a dice version of a popular card mechanic?
Warriors.
Yeah. Number 2. What if different groups joined forces?
Smash up.
Number 3. Is it designed by Cryptozoic?
Anything Cryptozoic.
Number 4. Is it a zombie game from a first-time designer on Kickstarter?
That is an awesome list. I love it.
Yes. Okay, so Proofrock 1977 says, I hate Talisman.
Yeah.
Jason Garcia says, Munch and Quest and Talisman are my hate games.
That was a capital hate.
Yes, it
There's
was.
a lot of hate. We're feeling very good. We're going to bring you to the dark side.
The Dragon Scholar says, Dungeoneer, Realm of the Ice Witch. And then CR Flames fan says, Battlestar Galactica.
You know, I've heard good and bad about Battlestar Galactica. Some people absolutely hate it, and then some people had a great experience. It's just strange.
And then we have a name, I'm not sure if it's Stasia or Stacia Doster. I hang on to Quarriors because my daughter loves it. Otherwise, I would never play it again.
The things we do for our children.
Yeah. Okay, then we have the Discriminating Gamer, who says, Small World and Galactic Strike Force.
By the way, he wrote me and thanked me because I guess a lot of you went over and subscribed to his channel. So that was cool. You know?
All right.
Good job, guys.
David Hoffman says, anything involving miniatures is on my hate list.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That can... You know, what's the... You know, and I know you got one more to read, but you know what? Actually, you don't, because that's a repetition.
Oh, yeah, that's a repetition.
I accidentally did that last
okay.
What is it with people that think that because it has miniatures, it creates theme, but, you know, a Euro, oh, they're drawing, they're themeless, but, oh, it's got miniatures and dice, there's theme, you know?
Right, yeah.
What's with that? What's with that?
Apparently we hate it, too. Well, not really.
I don't necessarily hate it, no. I'm just saying, why do people imply that if it's got miniatures, it's got theme, but if it's Euro, then it's dry, you know?
We like Euro games.
Yep. Oh, yeah, of course we do. All right, so games that we were most excited about come at Gen Con.
Gen Con!
Happy feet! All right, we've got a list here. Now, guys, I want you to know this. There's a lot of good games coming out this Gen Con. A lot of them. Games I'm excited to try. I had to narrow this list down. It was over 30 games, and we just can't do that many.
He worked hard to narrow this down.
I worked hard for my money. Boom, boom, boom.
And next week we're going to talk about games that might be under the radar. So,
that's
so that's going to be next week. So if they're not on this list, they might be on that one.
You better treat me right. I had to finish it. Alright, so number 1, Arcane Wonders is releasing a game called Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yes.
Now, what was it that first attracted you to this? What did you see?
Well, I saw that there's negotiating.
Yeah.
And there's a time limit, thank goodness. But I love the negotiating in Dragon's Gold.
Yeah,
so I thought all that player interaction and bluffing and negotiating is going to be a blast.
Well, I liked it because I guess everybody gets to play the role of sheriff once, okay?
Yeah.
And is this game going to be about, trying to win, or is it going to be a game of retribution? See, that's what I wonder.
When you were sheriff, you weren't very nice to me.
Because I guess somebody's always going to be get their goods confiscated, so they're not going to score. So it makes you wonder, okay, if you confiscated my goods when you were sheriff, when I'm sheriff, there's a little retribution in order here.
That's
so
going to be fun.
I love it. Okay, so next one on the list is Abyss, and this is by Bombix Asmodee Games. Now, you watched a little bit more on this than even I did, and what did you get from it?
Well, you draft cards, but it's not all at once. It's
not like Seven Wonders.
The first player gets their chance to draft a card, and then if they don't, it goes on to the next player.
Mm-hmm. So what I was noticing was that the artwork looks really cool, and it's underwater.
Yeah.
You get to fight monsters, which that always gets my blood going.
It looks very thematic. The money is pearls, and it's underwater, and there's different races of sea creatures.
Yeah, and it looks really neat. The whole concept of the game just looks fabulous, and I if it wasn't for the fact that we had to go at Origins, I had a chance to demo it, and unfortunately I had to go because Kevin. No, it wasn't.
No. I'm going to have to demo this, though, because the video, I really didn't get a good feel for how you play the game.
But it still looks very interesting.
It involves set collecting, and you get to defeat monsters. So that's kind of a neat combination.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 Tribes by Days of Wonder. Now, this one is very high on my list as well. Now, one thing that caught my attention about it, number 1, it's based off of the 1001 Arabian Nights, which that already will get me interested.
Theme.
Yes,
yeah.
I love 1001 Arabian Nights, okay? Also, what's very interesting about this game is that everybody's meeples start already on the board. So you're not placing workers, they're already on the board, and then you're maneuvering them from there.
You're moving them. Now,
Yeah.
that reminds me of Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
We just did a video on that recently. We love it. So I think that we're probably going to like this game, too. Now, what stood out to me is the components.
Yeah.
Little camels and palm trees, and you're wanting to sing, aren't you?
I am, and I'm trying to resist! I promise.
The pieces, there's palace pieces, and I mean, this looks really, really
It does, and some of the artwork, too. Did you see the monsters and stuff like that? Did you see the tiles that you can use against your opponents that let you remove meeples and stuff?
I didn't
There's
go that
like
far, I guess.
Medusa creature and all kinds. And the designer of this, if I'm correct, I think did Cyclades as well, so big surprise. So seems like it's going to be very thematic, there's the word again, but it seems like a very fun game too. And I think this is going to be one that is going to be very, very popular.
The combination of mechanics looks really good
yeah.
too, I think.
Now this is one that I think that, I'm not sure how high this is on people's radar, but Samurai Spirit by Funforge and Passport Games. Whoa!
Looks great.
This looks fun, guys.
Yeah.
Now, this is a cooperative game where we're all trying to work together to defend our farms against the bandits. But it's the way that the game works that looks really cool.
It sounds like a tower defense game.
Yeah.
I love tower defense games, on the computer. So
oh, absolutely.
That's going to be cool.
And we like the whole tower defense and like Castle Panic and stuff.
Yeah.
So sometimes you sacrifice a tower in hopes that, you'll win the game, And this has kind of got the same feel because, now what's interesting about it is it says that, now see, I don't know how the game actually plays yet, okay? But it says that it's a cooperative game in which each player is a fierce samurai defending a village surrounded by a horde of bandits. The game will play out over 3 turns, which each player takes turns drawing a bandit card, then choosing whether to fight the bandit, defend the village, or to let the bandit pass in order to help other samurai. So it sounds like there's some cool choices, because when you fight, it says that should you fight each enemy to quickly reach your beast capacities. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like you could possibly, like, the more you fight, the stronger you become.
But then you also come closer to death at the same time, apparently.
Death is waiting around the corner for all of us. But it sounds cool, and then, but the other problem is if you don't fight, then you're not leveling up, I guess. And it says then eventually you're going to be reaching lieutenants and villain bosses that are going to be too difficult for you to be able to defeat. So this one sounds really, really, really interesting.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next on the list is King of New York. Now, if you're a fan of King of Tokyo, this one seems like a no-brainer because it sounds like they took King of Tokyo and just upgraded to me. One thing that I thought sounded really cool is that you're actually going to be able to destroy buildings instead of just each other.
That definitely adds to the game. And then also, I like the fact that you're all on the board. In King of Tokyo, there's only 1 or 2 monsters that are on the board. This time, you're all on the board. And where you are on the board affects how you can use the cards in the game. So that sounds interesting.
Now, I want to read this to you because this is what I thought was neat. It says, smashing, because smashing because you can destroy buildings and get bonuses for doing so. But the more destruction you cause, the more intense the military response.
Taking a bit of a risk there.
Yeah, so that sounds interesting. I like that. Okay, next one on the list is, now the reason we're going kind of fast, guys, because we got a lot to cover. Lords of Zidit?
Zidit? I don't know.
Zidiot? I don't know how to say it, but it's by Liboud, and Asmodee. So just Asmodee. I can say Asmodee. But this one is, wow, this one looks cool. I gotta admit.
Yeah, the components. Ugh. I mean, I just gotta play with those components.
I just want the components just to fiddle around with them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, pew, 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 pew.
And then you've got a fantasy theme, you've got monsters, and it's a pick-up and delivery game.
Yeah, so because it's like you're picking up clerics, you're picking up peasants, you're picking up fighters and stuff, and you're going around using them to fight the monsters with. And it looks really cool. Now, did you watch the little video, or did you just read about it? Did you see how the scoring works and the end game, how you can win? It's crazy.
I guess it's going to be different each game because the way the in-game scoring works is that a player will get eliminated based on the lowest score in a certain category.
Yeah.
The categories are going to switch positions at the end of the game.
Yeah, so basically you just don't want to be last in any category because if you are, you're done. You're eliminated. Then it's going to go to the next category. So, like, from wealth to, there was something like renown, and then it goes to renown. And if you're last, you're eliminated.
But,
amazing.
You could get another player eliminated first.
Yes.
And then you won't be last in that category.
Yes.
So,
it sounds so cool. I'm really excited about that one. That is one I definitely want to try. Cult Express by Ludonaut Asmodee. Okay. All right, I got to read this to you, okay? It says, in Cult Express, you play a bandit robbing a train. Your goal is to become the richest outlaw in the Old West. The game takes place in a 3D train.
I need that 3D train.
Yeah. In which the bandits can move from one car to another, run on the roof, punch the other bandits, shoot them, rob the passengers, and draw the marshal out of position. That sounds fun.
Well, I noticed it's cooperative in a way.
Ooh, is it?
So that's going to be interesting how that works.
It's cooperative up to the point before I shoot you.
It's cooperative up to a point, but you want to get more points than your opponents.
Well, of course.
Yes.
More money, right?
Yeah.
Money. Next one on the list is Skull and Shackles by Kaizo. Yeah, big surprise. We love Rise of the Rune Lords with Pathfinder Adventure card game, so why would we not be excited about this one?
Yes.
Now, we did an interview with Mike Selinker at Origins, and he kind of went over a demo of the game and showed some of the neat little changes. There's boats, it's pirates, arg, There's like guns and stuff like that now. So
and there's new characters, and there's also characters that are carrying over. So
well, I saw Valeros and Marisol, which is our characters from Rune Lords, but I don't want to play as them again because I want to pick somebody else. You know, somebody mentioned Scott Smart mentioned the Alchemist, and that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
She says you throw bombs, and I'm all about throwing them bombs.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. So, all right, moving along. Imperial Settlers by Portal Games. This has got to be on the list, doesn't it? I mean, it's like one of the hottest games that's going to be at Gen Con. And the game looks great, but I love the designer of this game, and that's why I'm even more interested. And that's why I was interested right off the bat, is because the same designer that did Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
And we love that game.
Love it.
Now, this one is going to be rather interesting because it's going to pit 4 different civilizations against each other. You got, let me see if I can do it off the top of my head. The Barbarians, the Egyptians, the Japanese, and the Romans. Ha! I know I did it.
Yeah, Barbarians.
I was going to be Barbarians.
I'm going to be the Barbarians.
We're going to have a problem, aren't we?
But I guess each civilization goes about playing the game in a different way.
Yeah, they do. They're very unique in the way they play because, like, the Japanese about trading. The Barbarians are about looting and pillaging. That's going to be me, so don't get so excited. So, I'll be the Romans then.
And the Barbarians will just repeat history and take down Rome.
I thought the Romans drove the Barbarians out. They drove them to Germania.
But then at the end of Rome, the Barbarians came in and finished it off.
Rome destroyed itself. The Barbarians had nothing to do with it. They were just the scavengers picking the meat off the bone.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, next one. Let's move along. Legendary Encounters! Ha ha ha! I am really excited about this one. Okay, I am a fan of the Aliens universe. I love Alien. Loved Aliens. Thought the 3rd film was okay. The 4th film started good, then kind of petered out there at the end.
Those were like the first movies that I was allowed to watch that had cussing in them.
Yeah, we should start cussing for the rest of this video, too. No, but I love Aliens. I love the whole concept. One of the coolest creatures ever designed. I mean, let's just be honest here. And I love Legendary. But, now, I've already read the rule book on this game, and if you're already familiar with Legendary, I'm just going to be basing everything off that, you know, so... you're going to have a couple of different aspects of this game. You've got a trader aspect that you could play with, because like in Aliens, you had the company and they were trying to obtain the alien. Everybody else was expendable. That you can have that in this game. So
you can have it.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but having a trader could be pretty cool.
Especially now, the one thing about Legendary is you never, nor did I, like playing it with the 5 people.
No, I don't like playing Marvel Legendary with a lot of people. In fact, I think I prefer it with just the 2 of us.
Yeah. But when you add a trader in, it makes it more fun, because also on top of the trader is that...
Chest bursters!
Chest bursters! And the way the chest bursters work is that you could draw a card if it's a face hugger, and if you're not familiar with a face hugger, it hugs your face, impregnates you, chest burster evolves into that feeling, okay, and you die! But if you draw the chest burster, it stays in front of you, or the face hugger, it stays in front of you, and then it goes around the table, and if nobody destroys that face hugger, then you will become impregnated. You will take a chest burster card, put it in your discard pile. Once that is drawn, you become an alien. So you're eliminated, but now you get to take on the role of an alien, and you get to play from an alien deck, and you get to attack everybody else you were just friends with. The inevitable betrayal occurs.
So it brings in a little more villains into
I think that sounds exciting. I love this idea.
I love the fact that they're not just doing a repeat of Marvel Legendary with a new theme. That they're adding in new elements. It's going to spice it up, make it different.
Isn't this what it needs to do, though?
And I think that we're more likely to play with a bigger group now.
This will be a bigger group game that I guarantee will bust out. Whereas Legendary, like I said, we did in Marvel, we just wanted to play with us.
Right.
So, very excited about this one. This will be a day 1 game that I'm going to have to make sure I get. So, okay, so the next one is Hyperborea? Hyperburrito? No, it's Hyperborea.
Hyperborea?
Hyperborea. Now, weird name. But this is an Asmodee one. Now this one is, the big thing is it's called bag building. Now that did worry me at first because I think of...
Warriors.
Yeah, it's a dice building. I'm like, oh God, no.
I don't know, what was that game we played where you're in the laboratory and it's like chemistry?
You played it. It was Compounded, I believe.
Compounded?
I didn't get to play that.
You draw things out of the bag with that, and that worked out okay. So, yeah.
Well, even Viva Java, you would draw out your cubes out to be able to,
right,
or
and,
your
and
beans
then
out.
you decide what you're going to do based on what you draw out.
Yeah.
So it sounds a lot like this.
But this one's more about area control, war, all that good stuff. But it all based upon your the cubes you pull out. So I'm very curious about this one because it looks really cool. Okay. But it's one of those ones that you're going to have to sit down and play to make sure that there's not like one dominant path to victory and, oh, I just didn't pull them cubes out, so you're constantly winning because you do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm really curious about with this.
But at the same time, it sounds like, replayability might be high because you're not always going to draw the same cubes out.
Well, it looks like you're going to have like your military and your knowledge, and those go in the bag, and then you're going to be pulling them out, building and all that. And so you're going to be building, then you're going to be taking on waste, which is like gray cubes, and those are going to now start going into your bag. So the more that you're expanding, the more waste that's going to be going in your bag, which means like you're going to be pulling those out.
You're going to have to change your strategy a lot.
And that made me think of trains, because remember how you'd get the trash in your deck and the deck building?
Yeah.
Kind of like trains, because you're expanding your building and, can't do anything, right? So, all right. So, next one on the list is Black Fleet by Space Cowboys and Asmodee.
And then you have a video from Origins.
Yes, I do.
This.
And a very exciting game. I highly recommend you go check out that video because it looks fantastic. Next one is Kimberly's Cascade, which once again...
You also have a video from Origins on that one.
So go check that one out. I highly recommend. In fact, we're putting them right here so you guys can just see them right there. So, Tragedy Looper by Z-Man Games.
Tragedy Looper. This sounds really interesting. It's a scenario-based game in which you have a script writer, and then the other 3 players have to determine... Here, let's give me my notes here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to it.
A tragedy only happens if certain conditions are met. So once a tragedy happens, the other 3 players have to determine what those conditions are, because they're going to loop back in time and restart the scenario again. And if they don't change something, the tragedy is going to happen again, and they're going to lose. Yeah, so the whole goal of the game is you have to solve this mystery before you loop back too many times, otherwise the scriptwriter wins. And the scriptwriter knows what's going on, but nobody else does. But you're getting little clues each time you loop. So it's like Groundhog Day.
Don't drive angry!
You gotta change what happens so that the tragedy does not occur again. Sounds pretty cool.
Does sound cool. Pandemic Contagion from Z-Man Games. We all like to play as Doctor. I love playing Doctor and Nurse. But this one, you're not playing Doctor.
You're playing the germs.
The germs. I'm the disease.
I'm going to wipe out humanity before you do.
No, I will. I suck your battleship. But you're going around, you're placing your cubes as the disease, and it's kind of area control, because if you have the last cube to place there, that fills all the slots, you get bonuses. But, it's also a majority with whether or not you're going to score points. So, Pandemic Contagion sounds really cool. I love the idea of the reverse aspect of it, of playing the disease.
We like being bad.
I love being bad. Okay, last one I just tossed on here is the Masquerade expansion. We loved Masquerade.
Yes.
This is adding 12 new characters into the game, and I don't have all of them because unfortunately I couldn't find the list of all of them, but there is a huge list of the 12 characters. I know there's the Princess, the Bear Tamer, Alchemist, and the Necromancer. Who's going to raise the dead as a Necromancer? Why do people always... That's how we get zombies, people. I mean, come on. But that's different. Okay, so...
Sounds great.
That is all of our games that is on our list for what we're excited about. But what are you guys excited about? Okay? Because, I mean, it's not just all about us, is it? I mean, it's about you too. Leave your comments below or go to this email address and let us know what games you are most excited about.
And we will mention them in our next video.
Which happens to be games that are going to fly under the radar. These are games that maybe you're not 100% aware they're going to be at Gen Con from smaller publishers that you might want to check out.
That we're still excited about.
I'm excited. Alright, so we had to pause the camera to charge it up for a little bit. It was flashing at us there at the end, and it was distracting. So, anyways, all charged up. So, what we want to do is get into the games that you guys are most excited about at Gen Con. We've already gotten some responses. Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. So, Brittany Bow says Kingsport Festival. I didn't even know anything about Kingsport Festival. In fact, I don't think it's going to be for sale. I think they're just going to have it for demo. But if you don't know who Brittany Bow is, I'm really afraid of you and her ever meeting, because her hair is so colorful and yours is, I'm afraid a rainbow is just going to appear.
Just
bing! Bing! But Kingsport Festival looks really cool. It's, basically, you know how you're a detective in Eldritch Horror and you're trying to prevent the, you know, creatures from being summoned?
Right.
In this one, you're the cultists trying to summon them before everybody else.
Ah, interesting.
Very interesting.
Another one where you get to play the bad guy.
I like being bad.
Then our buddy Kevin Manning actually wrote in.
Kevin. Go.
And he says, Lords of Zidit. Legendary Encounters, King of New York, anything about the Terra Mystica expansion, D&D Attack Wing, and Seven Wonders Babel. And he says he wants to see Fantasy Flight Games announce a full-scale mini of a Star Destroyer that will double as his home.
And I would come live with you. Robert Burke says, Run, Fight, or Die, Sheriff of Nottingham, Dead of Winter, and, here's a plug, Operation Faust, which, that's his game. And, of course, Adam Carlson said Hoplomachus, which is his game.
Yeah.
All right. Kurt Vaughn said Imperial Settlers, The Witcher, Doomtown Reloaded, Pathfinder Shackles, Temporium, Pandemic Contagion, Pandemic the Cure, and Abyss.
Okay, Matt McChesney says Dead of Winter, Sheriff of Nottingham, Castle of Mad King Ludwig, Epic Resort,
Woohoo! Cash
and Gun 2nd Edition.
Now, Castles of Mad King Ludwig, I think, is an Essen release, but I am anxious to demo that one, too. Josh, Murdoch says Munchkin Panic. Brian Fromm says Panamax, Imperial Settlers, 5 Tribes, and Hyper Burrito, or Hyperborea.
Tim Bresnan says Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
Praetor, Escape, Zombie City, and World of Tanks Rush. There's some good games there.
Yes. And Wayne Ong is the last one, says Imperial Settlers, Pathfinder Skull and Shekels, Dead of Winter, The Witcher Adventure Game, which that almost made my list, by the way, Mice and Mystics, Downwood Tales, and Heroes Wanted and Shadows of Brimstone. So, Heroes Wanted, that might be on next week's.
Yeah.
All right, so that is everything for this episode except one thing. It is time for
Rambling.
Okay, you ready? You want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
You went first last
You're
time,
already
too.
pulling one out. So.
Well, I just was shuffling to make sure, you know.
Shuffling.
I want to get the good one. Okay, you ready? If a fire broke out and you could save 5 of your games, which would they be?
Oh, 5. Village.
Village.
First one I thought of. Terra Mystica.
Terra Mystica.
Marvel Legendary.
Marvel Legendary.
5 of my games.
You got 2 left. Now, mind you, the kids should already have been safely put outside, right? Or are you grabbing the games before the kids?
I need to be able to look at our games, I think.
Well, there's some up there.
We play a lot of.
I know, we got this banner. It's in the way. What else?
I'll go with Ticket to Ride. Robinson Crusoe.
There you go. Now, see, I would go with ones that are harder to replace. Yeah, like Ticket to Ride's not that hard to replace.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. I didn't think about replacing them. I just thought, you know, this is it. 5 games, you don't get anything else. Never ever. Okay, here's yours. What is your favorite deck builder and why?
God, well, I mean, I love Legendary, but we've got so many, don't we? It would probably have to be the Legendary just because I like the Marvel heroes so much.
Yay!
And I think that's all it boils down to be honest with you, is because it doesn't always have to be the system. Sometimes it's just, what's involved in the system. But, I mean, we've got a lot of other good deck builders that we play. I love the World of Tanks Rush. I think the Lord of the Ring deck builder is pretty good. And we've got a couple others for
I
some
was
reason.
Expecting you to say Star Realms.
Oh, and I do like Star Realms an awful lot too, but I think the Star Realms can be very predictable at times, I guess. It does have some exciting endings.
Well, and then, of course, Thunderstone.
And then Thunderstone. But yeah, I think it'd have to be Legendary just because I love the Marvel Universe so much, and that would be all that it boils down to. So, all right. So don't forget, next week's episode is games that are probably going to fly under the radar that maybe you do know about, but maybe you don't. That you should probably try them. And then don't forget to leave your comments below of what games you're most excited about, or email them to this address, whatever you decide to do. And is that it?
That's it.
All right. We'll see you guys next episode. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Griffin Gaming, from new releases to pre-orders. Griffin Gaming. Enter in promo code GreyElephant for 5% off your order.